So for the last part of this lecture, we're going to talk about bringing all these elements together. Operational CRM, establishing a relationship, allowing these interactions to happen, making sure your processes, your organization is ready to interact. Analytical CRM, understanding who the customer is, understanding the needs, understanding which products and services they would purchase from you, when, where, and how. And collaborative CRM is a meaningful interaction with your customer where you can discuss products and services, where you can not just sell, but also work together to deliver a new product or a service, or help in your marketing, or make them part of your business processes. So if you combine all these elements together, you start changing the way you as an organization look at these relationships. And you can, for example, one of the ways you can look at that is the customer journey. So you change your perspective from these CRM, from you as a company, to the person who is on the receiving end of that, of the other end of the relationship, the customer. And one of the common ways that's used is what they call the customer journey. And this is an example diagram where you have on the upper part, you have the digital touch points. So these are digital interactions. Between the company and the customer. So that's happening online. And there could be physical touch points, which could be in a store or a product that's being delivered or some other way. So as a customer goes through the processes we talked about, understanding, there is a product to be offered, considering the product, actually purchasing the product, then needing service, and then again lengthening the relationship. That's what we call the customer journey. And throughout this customer journey, throughout each of these stages, there are different interactions a customer will want to have. So you can use that journey, and it differs per product, per market, per service, per sector, what that journey will look like. And it might even differ per customer. But thinking about these journeys, you can start identifying, is the customer able to interact with me digitally or physically? So that customer journey approach can help you, especially if you're transforming now to an online, is thinking about what interactions do I have with the customer, and am I ready for that interaction? What would I like to get out of that interaction? What the customer likes to get out of it? How could we make that interaction happen in terms of modality, system? How can we happen in terms of content, and so on? So you will see here some examples that are being plotted along those lines. And I'll give you an example of a few examples of companies that have done this. So this is a project called Exploding Kittens that was on Kickstarter. So remember, Kickstarter is this platform where you can do collaborative product development. You can be an investor into a new venture. So on Kickstarter a few years ago was this card game called Exploding Kittens. And it turned out to be one of the most successful Kickstarter projects ever, because that project started small with just playing cards, was the idea. And eventually they reached 8.7 million US dollars in terms of an investment. So there were a lot of backers, we call them, investors, 219,000 people said, we want to support you, and in exchange you will get one of the first versions of the game. So it was for a company that was just a startup with the idea to get a few investments, all of a sudden a huge effort. So one of the things that I want to highlight about this project is their communication and the customer relationship management. So once I backed this, a few weeks later I got an email, or towards the end, they said they would deliver in June. So I got this email that says, we promised to deliver this product to you in July. And we got something for you. We originally said we're going to deliver July 2015. But we hope to sell 500 copies of the game, they mentioned in the email. But to do all of a sudden, because we were so successful, we all of a sudden had 122 people from 122 different countries. We had to print 26 million cards. We used so many paint. We had to send so many emails. So we went from almost 5 people. In total, we had 860 people all of a sudden happen. So that's a lot of things we had to do. So when do we expect to deliver this product to you? So at this point, this was one of the steps along the customer journey, an interaction point where I thought, okay, I understand you've been successful. It's not gonna, it's gonna be postponed, but I'm happy for you. But they actually said, no, it's still gonna be July. In fact, we're gonna start shipping today. So that was, of course, in terms of marketing, very interesting, but also they used this opportunity, this touch point in the customer journey, with the email and everything with it, as an opportunity to build that relationship, because now I feel even more excited about this project and I feel even closer connected to this organization. So let's fast forward a little bit. The shipping starts, and after a few weeks, I still haven't received my product, and I start sending an email. And I could, I start with a tweet, and they said, "Oh, great. Would you mind sending it in an email? We'll be happy to help you." So I said, "Yeah, sorry, I didn't get the package." And what they did is, I got an email back saying, "Hey, we're sorry you didn't hear that. You didn't get the kittens." They called their products "exploding kittens." So they said, "We're sorry, here you didn't get the kittens, not the game. We're going to send you a copy ASAP, and which address you'd like to send them to." They didn't ask for money. They didn't ask for explanation or receipts or any evidence or whatsoever. They said, "We're just gonna, no questions asked. We're gonna send you a new copy." Again, it could have been a potential complaint. We could have gotten in a fight, and of course, they probably lose money over these things. But in the grand scheme of things, for them, building that relationship was more important. So that was this email. So eventually, I did get the Kickstarter product, and actually, I have it here. Exploding kittens. And what I liked is that's an important part of the customer journeys. When you receive it and you open it, and I'll try to let you hear by the microphone. So the box actually meows when you open it. So if you think about every step in this customer journey, from the moment it started on Kickstarter, the interactions we had till the final box arrives, it was great. So after this project, this company has developed 5 or 6 other games, and I can tell you that without hesitation I've purchased all of them, even if it was just for the fun experience of ordering from them. So to give you an idea of how that could work. But of course, as I said, it has to fit with the company, it has to fit with your strategy, it has to fit with your organization. Let's take a look at these tweets from the NS. They both NS and KLM, they provide web care. It allows you to ask questions online, for example, on Twitter, and they will reply back to you. And if you look at the answers you get from NS, it's usually, where do you want to go? You can go to the counter. Or there's troubles, it can give you a longer travel time. Great answers, but it's not really delivering a service. It's just giving you information, and you still have to figure things out. They won't change anything, and they can't, because it's public transport, it's mass transport. They can't make individual arrangements for you. So their goal is communication. Let's look at the other side, like KLM, where somebody asked on Twitter, like, "I'm flying, but I can't check my suitcase online, even if I'm not logged into my account. We would like to check this for you, and we'll make it happen." And so eventually they got a reply, "Yeah, we'll take care of it. We'll also do it for the other passenger." And I can tell you from experience, I also had interactions with KLM via webcare. They will try to make things happen for you. Of course, their business model, their organization allows it to happen. And that is part of a good fit between the customer relationship management strategy and the organization. So developing such a customer relationship management strategy, you need a couple of things, and we'll talk about that in the last part.